So I am on the Newport Beach Pier in California because that's better than Wisconsin right now. But we are actually going to check out Tesla Takeover. It's an electric vehicle car show, and I'm going there with Adro, which is that carbon fiber company that makes lips and splitters and all that sort of good stuff for EVs, KDMs, and things like that. So we're gonna go check these things out because I'm curious as to what an electric vehicle car show's like. I'm gonna review a couple of them, see if they're all up to snuff, or maybe if they're just big eggshells and you'll never be able to get past that, and bring you along for the ride. So don't forget to drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the cars. You can rate them below up with like a template or something. And then it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, so I need coffee. Yeah. So before you actually make it to San Luis Obispo, which if you fly in from Los Angeles, which is where we did, or some of those, whatever, City of Industry, Irvine, California, it's all that. That whole thing is Los Angeles to me. But as you make your way from there to San Luis Obispo, you can take Highway 1. And when you take Highway 1, you get a beautiful drive all the way through. You get coastline views. It is stunning. And there's one place that you can stop that I stop every single time I can. Is it cheesy? Yes. Do I give a shit? No, I don't. So we're stopped, we're here. Let me show you. It's my favorite thing about this entire drive. Does that look familiar at all? Hopefully.
There's another YouTuber. This is Alex Martinez.
No, I'm not. I'm just hanging out.
Well, that looks really good. No,
Sure, my Spotify's not working. I was gonna play the song "See You Again" by Wiz Khalifa.
I feel like it goes without saying that California is absolutely beautiful, and I see why everybody lives there. And if the taxes weren't insane and it didn't cost 2 arms and 2 legs and a kidney to live here, I would probably move. So we are officially here at the location where Tesla Takeover is going to be, and of course all of the Tesla people got together and they took their Roy G. Biv photo. I call them nerds because of course they organized everything by color code. Now these are all really cool. I think they're neat. I think they're really cool. But the coolest thing here is this. And this is the owner. What's your name?
Will.
Will, nice to meet
Nice
you,
to meet
Will.
you.
Can I just see it? Because I see them all over the internet, and I've never actually seen one in person yet. This is so neat. And this is the fully electric, this is the Lightning,
100%
right?
100% electric light.
Wow. And you towed your Tesla here. Oh, it opens by itself?
I've had this for 3 days.
Okay.
I went from Long Beach to here, which is about 200-something miles. I only had to stop once, 1.5 times.
Really?
And I was towing a 4,000-pound car. So it's a short-range battery, so it's got the 230-mile range, but you got to cut that about half when you're towing something. So yeah, I got here, I charged in Santa Barbara, and I charged right down the street.
It wasn't
worked
bad.
Great.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then you got all the plugs
Oh,
back
you have
there as
all
well.
the outlets and stuff like the commercial had it.
You know, you can also you can charge electric vehicles back here.
Oh, can you really?
Yeah. It actually goes 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, so it's fast.
Of course it can.
Yeah, it's fast.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you so much. What's your name?
I'm Tim.
Nice to meet you, Tim. So, what do you like the most about it?
There's
Yeah.
That's different about the Lightning. This has 4 motors.
Oh, does it? Can you make it go up and down stationary?
I can.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Can we see it? Is it
yeah.
like air ride? Slam it on the ground, man.
Yeah, it can actually tuck the front tires.
Oh, does it really? Oh, you can go all the way down. That doesn't play
lower.
around at all.
Oh no. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do like the seats in this one a little bit more.
So this has heated and cooled seats in
Okay.
the front, heated steering wheel, heated rear seats. Now here's a kicker.
Yeah.
This is a gear tunnel.
What the
Goes through the
hell?
other side.
Oh my God, it does.
This is load rating for 250 pounds. And in here, there's a storage for a air compressor hose
Oh my gosh.
that has a built-in air compressor in the bed on this side. And then also, this comes with a power tonneau cover.
That is insane.
So when everything's all closed, this is pretty much a sealed unit. You might know Rolls-Royce gives you an umbrella.
Yep.
Right? You open the door, it gives you an umbrella.
Mhm.
Rivian does something a little similar,
Do they?
but they give you a flashlight. 1,000 lumens. Because it's an adventure truck.
Yeah.
You know, you're going out camping at night, you might,
You just get a flashlight.
you know, get a flashlight.
I am ultimately convinced that I don't even know what trucks are anymore, because that's a truck by technicality. And so is that one. You can't even see it because it's all in the shade. But what's really cool, and don't get me wrong, like I said before, I love the Teslas. I think it's a very neat thing. But for me, I enjoy my IC cars for now. I still do, I love them, but I love the practicality and functionality of trucks. I just don't like having to deal with the gas guzzlingness of it, because they're terribly expensive to modify and they're terribly expensive to actually keep running. When you have an electric vehicle that can tow and can do all the utility things that you need, that's neat. What the hell was that?
The best thing in the world.
Was that a car?
It's I gotta say, I really want one.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
So we are at Tesla Takeover. It's finally Saturday morning. We got everything all set up. Everything's looking super good, and it's a little bit different. I'm gonna tell you the number one thing that really just blows my mind is that there's no noise when cars are coming in. It blows my absolute mind that, like, there's 30 cars coming in, no noise, no cams, no crazy ass exhaust noise, just like the sound of the tires going through the dirt. But we are set up for Tesla Takeover, which means it's time to actually review some of these cars, because what I can say is that it's a different type of group of people here, okay? It is. It's totally different. It's like that, you know, like the kids in high school that were kind of nerdy, but they were really proud to be nerds? Like, they all got together, they all bought Teslas, and then they all came to this event, which is a good thing, but it's also kind of a funny thing. So we're gonna poke a little fun at some of the cars here. We're gonna review a couple of them. You guys gotta let me know in the comments, of course, what you would rate the cars out of 10, because that's what makes it fun. That's so cool. And it's on your phone?
Yeah, and you can pick the cars you want.
So this is the original Tesla Roadster. 2008, 2012 is when this one was made, based on the Lotus chassis. And if you're wondering, the reason that they stopped really making them was actually because their consignment with Lotus expired. This is the first technically legal lithium-ion fully electric car ever mass-produced by Tesla Motors, or Tesla Inc., before it transitioned to the other name that I just said. It's actually a very interesting car, because back then it was actually very successful. Elon Musk got the very first one, I think, and they only made like 500 or so in total. Most of these actually live in the Asia and Europe countries now, with only a few of them actually being in the States. The last quarter of all the production sales of the Tesla Roadster, it was codenamed like Black Star or something like that, actually went to Asia and Europe. So interesting to see two of them. Funky little cars. All right, so I'm here with Perry and his Tesla Model 3. Perry, tell me a little bit about your car as I hold up this for you.
Hey Alex, yeah, so this is my 2018 Tesla Model 3. I've had it for 3-4 years. My background is more of a JDM. I've had like 9 different MR2, so I have to have my JDM wheels. Yeah, Workmeister. I kind of regret not getting 3-piece, but hey, this will do it for now. And pretty typical by now, air suspension for all Model 3s. You'll see them everywhere now. Airlift 3H, height sensor, it's a must. And then I'm known for my ski box and custom wrap. Everything I've done myself, just you know, DIY car guy. So
very cool. So I'm gonna review it now, and I'm gonna go walk around the car, and we're gonna see if it's as perfect as Perry says. All right, so first things first, before we get into it, the most exciting thing about this car is the fact that it's on Workmeisters. I don't care what anybody else says in this entire show, the fact that this is on Workmeisters tells me that he was a car guy. Totally was, totally is, still will be, forever. And I love the actual air setup in the frunk. I like the airlift. I like the fact that you obviously got the Duracell. I think something that always kind of interests me though is because when you're talking about electric vehicles, you never really know if it's an actual car enthusiast or not. So if you go in here, you can see it actually looks pretty damn clean, but he threw it away because this was covered in Starbucks stuff, because every single Tesla owner here has kept their coffee from this morning and hasn't thrown it away. That's the difference between a car show and an electric vehicle car show. I like his little fake shifty knob thing that he's got going on. That looks really cool. It's a Teslarati like livery wrap that he has on it. The ski box I think looks super cool. If you go to the back, obviously he's got the carbon fiber, which I think looks really, really nice. And obviously the sun is just messing with absolutely everything. But I think the fitment's pretty on point. You're gonna have some issues with one-piece works on the Tesla Model 3 unless you go with a multi-piece setup to actually bring this out further if you wanna go fender to lip. But I'm not too familiar with the actual variants that you can do if it is an all-wheel drive or just the rear-wheel drive model. I think it looks pretty clean, you know, nothing too bad on the wrap. So yeah, it is interesting that this is forged, this is not, that is not, and that is not. So it's just the front lip that looks like it's forged, because even the trunk is weaved and then the rest of it is wrapped. So that is a little bit different, but you know, Perry's awesome, so we're not gonna be mean. So I had my chance to walk around the car. I have my rating. So just so you know, Perry, you gotta rate it out of 10.
Okay.
10 being, this car is better than everything else. It decimates all. 1 being, I'm actually selling this for the low, low price of $393, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
All right.
So
cool.
we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, score.
Okay.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3,
8.
Hey, that's not
Nice.
too bad. That's
Yeah.
not too bad. I love the car. I think it's super sick. I think it's, you do have like a forged front carbon lip, and then it's all one by one weave on the right. But everything else is super cool.
Yeah.
And you have Starbucks in the, you and everybody else at this show.
Right.
So next up on the reviewing cars at an electric car show that is still a car show, except it kind of isn't, but it is, but it's not. We have a Model 3, and this is CJ. CJ, tell me about the other very extensively modified Tesla here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I came into the scene in 2018, primarily came from the BMW Volkswagen scene, and I fell in love with the Model 3. You can see it's a full-blown show car, and pretty much every single aspect and detail have been touched on it. I guess the thing I love the most is just like the freedom to customize it the way you want. So I basically made this car my own. Basically, it has its own personality, and every aspect of the car has been touched. We went with like the SpaceX theme, so you could see that throughout the car. I kind of brought a little bit of like the Euro roots into it from my BMW Volkswagen days. That you kind of see, you know the spots, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna be dead ass honest with you guys. When you come to these shows, at least this electric vehicle car show stuff, 95% of the Teslas that are modified are still trying to figure out how to make fitment work, like how to get an actual decent wheel and tire setup. And I think the HREs on this car and the works that were over on the other side are probably one of my favorite sets here. There's a red Tesla over there too that I absolutely love that looks like they did a center lock conversion, but I love this. I do wish, you know, obviously there was a little bit more fender to lip, but it is looking really, really good for what it is. You obviously are gonna have a super clean setup with the trunk and the air suspension. Obviously he's got the SpaceX theme. He's got like rocket boosters on this, which I think is really, really cool. But then as you go around, you start to see some of the stuff that's a little bit more crazy. I'm not used to this yoke design. I don't know if I ever will be used to the yoke design. I know that it's on the Plaid. I understand the concept. I think it's neat. But there's another thing that's probably a little bit weirder than that, and that is the wrap that he did here, which kind of makes it look like that SpaceX theme. You can see it pretty much throughout the entire interior piece. And then when you're talking about the exhaust note that he's mentioning, it comes from the speakers in the back of the trunk. So he has it on an app where you can change the exhaust notes so that when you're actually in the car, it can sound like whatever you want it to sound like, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously swapped out the Tesla for Rune. He's got like a whole ass patio furniture set for the mods. And then obviously on the other side, you can see big ass tablet, nice interior. I do like the little Casper Model 3 pieces that are on the seats. I like the carbon. I like the little details on the car. If it was up to me, I think the only thing I would probably change on the entire car, the only thing I would change is I'd probably go for a little bit more of a modest color on the actual Tesla. There's a lot of noise on this car. There's a lot of sparkles, a lot of cool stuff, and I do love it. It's just a personal preference. That's the only difference. There's so much crazy stuff happening that I don't think that you could actually just fit it all in like a 1-minute video.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3?
9.
That's pretty good. What gave it a 9?
I mean, I always feel there's more room to improve. So, you know, I've changed the whole look of this car 3 times just because it hasn't satisfied what I was looking for, right?
Absolutely.
Next year, I'll probably rip the whole thing apart and redo the whole thing again, right? So that's kind of why it's a 9 for me. There's always room for improvement. You know, it's...
And I do love, like, the amount of customization that's on the car is absolutely astounding. To see it in such a, like, to see the Tesla modification community in its infancy and to see this much done to it is actually pretty cool. So yeah, besides that, I would say it's definitely worth it, 100%. Let's go take a look at another car. There's absolutely no possible way I'm gonna be able to get through all of these cars, so instead of going through every single one, we're just gonna give them all one-liners and maybe a score. We'll see how fruity I'm feeling. That one Miami Vice show, 6. If you squint your eyes, it's an Aston Martin, 4. I actually like this one, 8. The kinky shy one, 8. They probably deleted their Twitter, 9. Same, kinda same, 7. If the dad jokes were a car, 8. This man was a car enthusiast before he bought a Tesla, 7. The Transformers movie, not the good one, 6. Frank's Hot Sauce, exactly what you needed, 8 out of 10. Your hip uncle, 9 out of 10. Mr. definitely has a custom plate, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6. This is kind of cool, 6.5, 7. Only here because somebody probably brought him here. DNF. Hopefully nobody got angry at me about the ratings. It is a little bit different because walking into this, I initially thought it was more of a car show, and it's definitely a car show, but I'd almost treat it a little bit more as an exhibitor's hall. It seems like this event is way more geared towards people that just enjoy Teslas, which gets into that entire conversation of if a Tesla person can be a car enthusiast or is a Tesla owner a techie. You can see both sides. You can see it by the way people walk and talk. You can see it in the type of modifications they do. It's young, it's new, it's fresh, but it's naive, but the naiveness shouldn't be perceived as ignorance. It's just a very new scene, and there's some really cool stuff coming out of here that makes me excited to be a car enthusiast. I don't know if we're at a point on the walk to say that we've crossed hands from an enthusiast to an electric vehicle enthusiast. I do still think we're probably a little bit farther away from that than we'd like to admit, at least here in the heart of California. But it is a cool concept, and I do think we're almost there. People here are super nice. They're very excited to talk about their vehicles, and they're very excited to talk about Tesla. But I can definitely understand why so many people follow the brand, because the consumers and the people that are here, they're all very, very similar. Unique, but similar. It's probably no surprise that a lot of people that are talking about being here and talking about the excitement, it seems like every single time they talk about a person, the person that they happen to bring up is Elon Musk. And I'm gonna probably say something that might make people a little bit uncomfortable, but it does remind me a little bit of like the Trump excitement, like people that follow Trump for Trump. It's like what he says and what he does. People have this like gravitation, this persona relationship with this person, and you can see it a lot here. Now, whether good, bad, or indifferent, it's just something that I see here that I've never seen anywhere before that wasn't in politics. And just like that, it's over. Tesla Takeover 2022. It was pretty cool to actually see this. It's definitely a different group of people, which is very exciting. I'm like cautiously optimistic as to what this sort of thing turns out to be, because I think it's a lot more than just Teslas, but the environment and kind of the mentality is definitely unique here than any other show that I've been to in the past. Hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. Drop a comment below on what you'd like me to talk about next, especially on the Monday videos. And of course, thank you so much to Adjo for bringing me out. Really excited about this one, and I'm burnt. Sorry, not sorry, bye.